So, human beings need carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins, mineral elements, and water for proper growth and maintenance. These aren't actually manufactured by our bodies, so, well, the first step is finding food and eating it. After that, these nutrients are broken down into simple, diffusible food molecules, which means they can then enter through the cell membranes of cells in different parts of the body. The digested food particles actually become part of our body, while the undigested part is, eliminated from the body. From the intake of food to the elimination of undigested food, there are the following stages. Ingestion is the process of taking food into the alimentary canal to begin digestion. Digestion, on the other hand, is the process of breaking down complex food molecules into simple molecules under the action of enzymes in different parts of the alimentary canal. Absorption is the diffusion of simpler food particles from the alimentary canal into the blood and lymph. Assimilation is when those simple food particles are incorporated across the body, or basically when the food actually becomes part of the body. Egestion, or defecation, is basically the removal or elimination of undigested food from the body, and this process is called defecation. The alimentary canal, or digestive tract, is, well, the main part of the human digestive system. It's actually quite complex and consists of a long tube known as the alimentary canal. This canal starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. The alimentary canal consists of the following parts: the oral cavity, pharynx and esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. So the oral cavity is basically the cavity of the mouth. It includes the jaws, teeth, tongue and salivary glands. Food selection, is actually done by taste and smell, while the tongue and teeth help out with that. Mastication or grinding of food is done by the teeth. The tongue helps in the physical digestion of food, that is, chewing and breaking down the food. It also assists in forming the bolus from the chewed food. Salivary glands add their secretions for the lubrication of food by producing saliva. So, saliva is actually made up of water mucus salivary amylase and sodium bicarbonate. The amylase, which is one of the key enzymes, helps with carbohydrate digestion and, well, that process actually starts right in the mouth. Now, because of the different processes happening in the oral cavity, the food takes on a rounded, almost ball-like shape, which is called a bolus. After that, from the oral cavity, the bolus is pushed into the pharynx. The pharynx is, a narrow passage located inside the neck. So, during swallowing, the opening of the nasal cavity is closed by the upward and backward movement of the soft palate. And, the epiglottis covers the glottis, which helps prevent food particles from entering the trachea. From the pharynx, the bolus moves into a tube called the esophagus. In an adult person, its length is about 25 centimeters or roughly 10 inches. The esophagus connects the pharynx and the stomach. When the bolus reaches the esophagus, the peristaltic movement causes the bolus to pass through the esophagus. Peristalsis is basically the involuntary downward movements of the smooth muscles of the alimentary canal, or you could say, waves of relaxation and contraction in those smooth muscles. Sometimes anti-peristaltic movements also start in the alimentary canals and, well, this results in vomiting. The stomach is a muscular sac. It is present just beneath the diaphragm, and, it's J-shaped in appearance. The upper part of the stomach, where the esophagus opens, is a wider zone. Because it is located near the heart, it is called the cardiac portion. The lower part of the stomach is a narrow zone, and it's known as the pyloric portion. So, in between the esophagus and the cardiac portion, there is a muscular ring called the cardiac sphincter. It basically allows food to enter from the esophagus into the stomach, and, well, it prevents the backward movement of food too. There is also a muscular ring between the pyloric portion and the duodenum, which is the first part of the small intestine, and that one is called the pyloric sphincter. The sphincter is a type of opening that's controlled by muscles. It opens when the muscles relax, and, it closes due to the contraction of the muscles. The muscles in the wall of the stomach are actually present in the form of layers. The innermost layer is called the mucosa. The second layer is called the submucosa. The third layer is called the muscularis. And the outermost layer of muscles is called the serosa. So, the mucosa actually has gastric glands composed of 3 kinds of cells. Chief cells secrete an inactive enzyme called pepsinogen, which is then converted into an active enzyme, pepsin, by hydrochloric acid. Pepsin acts on protein and, converts it into partially digested polypeptides and amino acids. Parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid, or HCl. It kind of softens the food and, kills any pathogens that might be in the food. Mucous cells secrete mucus. The mucus forms, well, a coating on the inner walls of the stomach. In this way, the walls of the stomach become safe from the action of hydrochloric acid and pepsin. So the stomach performs 3 important functions. So the stomach stores and mixes the food received from the esophagus in the form of a bolus, which enters the stomach through the cardiac sphincter. It produces its secretions in the form of enzymes like pepsin, mucus, and hydrochloric acid, which together are called gastric juice. This is what actually starts the process of protein digestion. The pyloric sphincter, well, it controls the amount of food that enters into the intestine. The food enters into the stomach and stays here for about 2 to 3 hours. The churning action of the walls of the stomach converts it into a creamy, semi-liquid paste called chyme.